Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another program segment of Mind Science. Freedom for you. Freedom to be the good you want to be. Freedom to do, real freedom to do the good you want to do. And freedom to really have the good you desire and you deserve. For example, good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and more money. And so that's basically what our program is about. Mind Science, freedom for you, so you could learn to recognize your inner strengths and powers, so that you can have an outer experience in your world, in your family, in your community, at work, in your business, of good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and more money. Now, today's topic is entitled Self-Hatred. This is very important. Now, it might be scary for people, but we have to deal with this. Because our scientists have said throughout cultures that a lot of our anti-social behaviors, our drug addictions, our criminality, our dropping out of schools, our committing crimes, our drug addictions, is a result of self-hatred. Now you may say, oh, I love myself. Well, let's see. And if you do, fine. Because to have a relationship, as you know, as we've talked about, you can't love anybody else unless you first love yourself. And so that's the way it is, and that's the way we are made. So we want to talk about self-hatred because across our country, there's so much static between different cultures, races, groups. Just the other day, the white supremacists and the other group were in great clash. 3 people got killed. And from my research and study and experience, I see it's a result, those people who initiated all that violence and so-called revenge were acting out of a sense of self-hatred. And of course, when you don't like yourself, you don't tell yourself, well, I don't like myself. It's there in your subconscious mind, and you act it out. And unfortunately, your environment and community confirms it for you, because that's where you got it from in the first place, which built your personality. So we need to look at this to see if there's any aspects of ourselves that condones self-hatred. Many people have said over the years that the whole experience of slavery for black men and women there's a suffering today in the 21st century, 2017, of the impact of slavery on our forefathers. It's impacting us, black men and women, boys and girls, and all people today in the 21st century. And that's called post-traumatic stress disorder. Our acting out, our criminality, our dropping out, our lack of looking for jobs, our physical and sexual abuse of ourselves, our killing of ourselves, and things like that. Our fear of trying to go to school to be the best of ourselves. It's a result of self-hatred that has cyclical from way back 300, 400, 500 years ago till today. It impacts us. And as a result, when we think about it subconsciously, we wonder sometimes, wow, why didn't our forefathers do something? How could they let the white supremacists or the slave owners burn our boys and men? How could they let them rape our boys and girls? How can they let them beat them and string them up on a tree and hang them out of their own whim? And you feel guilty about that. But we have to deal with that and crush that, because some of that, I believe, help cause some of our negative behaviors today in the world. We're live, 212 245 7273 212-245 7273. We're talking about self-hatred today. And I would like to hear your comments or your questions about that. We're live, 212-245 7273. We're talking about self-hatred. Now, self-hatred is really, really a very subtle and invisible, but a dogged determination guided by the ego, your ego, to bring you down into an alignment with the abyss of guilt, separation, and fear. That's the nature of your ego. To have you believing in you're separate. To make you feel guilty. And to make you fearful. However, my beloved brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Before I go further into the process of self-hatred, I want to clarify what I'm talking about when I say your ego. Most of you, when thinking or talking about the ego, are referring to someone who is being conceited. Oh, she's conceited, or he's conceited. Someone who's a show-off. Or someone who thinks he or she is better than someone else or everyone else. Now that's being egotistical. And even worse, it's being an egomaniac. When I talk about ego, I'm not talking about that egomaniacal aspect of the ego or being an egotistical person. I'm talking about that subtle energy within you that you create yourself to cause you not to move forward in your lives. Thus, in conversation with you, when I mention mention ego, I'm referring to that unseen energy that's rooted within you and from you, whose goal is to keep you, my beloved brothers and sisters, separated from being your best, beautiful, true version of yourself. Now, this is heavy, but we have to deal with it. I want you to make every effort to grasp some of this because it's liberating and it's freeing. This is mind science freedom for you. And the purpose of this program is to help you become free of psychological slavery and any factors within you that cause you to be less than your great potential and possibilities. Now, going just a little bit further, so what is your ego? Well, your ego is that belief that you have that you are separated from the Creator. It's the belief that you have that you're separated from the source of the whole universe, the sun, moon, and stars. That you are separated, your belief that you are separated from God, good, love, that you are alone and you got to fight like a banshee to be happy in life. It's a perception of madness. It's an illusion that's not even real. It's not reality at all. I remember I used to feel alone when I was going to college. When I started to go to college, I said to myself, okay, that should be fun. But as I began to go to classes, I felt lonely. I felt alone. My brothers and sisters, they were going to the Corso on Broadway. They were going to Pegasus, the Pegasus Club, and that other club on 51st Street between Broadway and 8th Avenue. But I was going to study. I had to go to the library. And yes, the school I was going to had a library in the evening. I felt alone, and I said to myself, gee whiz, this is what going to college is about. I'm not going to have any friends. I mean, this don't feel too good. But as I began to continue, because something told me, keep on keeping on, I have found the most beautiful friends in all the world going to school, in college, in graduate school. The most beautiful people. But that was a trick of the ego to get me to believe that I was missing out on something. And that's what the ego will have you do. But it's really just an illusion. I wasn't lonely because the Father who created me and I and you are one. And that is what we need to learn to crush the effects of the ego on us. We're live, ladies and gentlemen, 212-245-7273. If you have any comment or question about this heavy topic, self-hatred. And when you feel hatred, you beat up on yourself. You blame other people. Oh, it's because of them. That's a sign that you don't love yourself. Now, when you internally experience and feel those false views or perceptions of yourself, I can't. They won't let me. I'm too black. I'm too fat. My religion isn't the right religion. I'm too tall. My color is not the right color. When you begin to see those or believe those ideas about yourself that you have in your own mind, the strange thing is you get validation from your environment. People will tell you, oh, you ain't going to make it, in your own family. So you will get validation or proof of your limitlessness, your limitedness, and your chaos from out there in your environment and in the world. From TV, from movies, from politicians, from black groups, from white groups, from relatives. Why? Because really, my beloved brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, you can only see what you are within. You can't love a person unless you first love yourself. So now we feel this desire to crush all of that. We want to change all of that. We want to fix all of that. And how do you do it? You do it by drinking, smoking weed, taking cocaine, mephedrine or heroin, or being abusive physically and sexually to your spouse, to children, or your staff, jiving around at work. Those are things that you do to try to crush that sense of you're no good. That you are that dirty little girl, that stupid little girl. You're that nasty little boy. However, when people are just a little bit more conscious and aware of truth, find that they have that struggle, here's what they do. They do what I call self-inquiry or self-inquiry. They will sit down and get still and look within themselves and see what is within them. Where is they give their attention to? What are they giving their attention to? What are their values? What are their beliefs? They look within themselves to see, is it positive? Is it empowering? Or does these values I have disempower me and hold me back from achieving some good that I say I want? Those folks who are a little bit conscious look within themselves to see where they may have made some mistakes. They have the courage, first of all, to look within, because that's where it starts. Remember, your experience in life, in the world, in your family, in your community, at work, wherever, starts. The quality of your thinking is the start or the cause of your experience in life. So for people to begin to look within to see what is the quality of their thinking, what are their beliefs, that's a good step into crushing self-hatred. They look and find out, where have there been goof-ups? Where have they hurt others? And where have they hurt themselves? And now they want to change. They want to get rid of the negative stuff. The problem is, brothers and sisters, is that when a person does that, self-inquiry, they have not dug deep enough. What they find is sometimes worse off than what they could imagine. The reasoning is because they have only reached the level of their personality. And remember, the personality is a result of what you have gotten from the environment, from the world. And a lot of labels and a lot of name calling, a lot of goof-ups that your parents or relatives may have called you or labeled you, or people or races or cultures, that's where you get your personality. So when you do that self-inquiry and you reach your personality, it might be worse. And your personality is made up of all the stuff, the programming, the conditioning that you receive from the outside world through your five senses, what you see, what you hear, what you say, what you speak, what you get from workshops and people and honchos you hang out with, from family members, school, churches, books, crew, politics, black groups, that group, TV, video. And so you are faced again with that ego-driven perception of yourself in that murky, gooey, dark, and dirty pool of lies. So thus we subconsciously, we hate that. And we hate ourselves because we believe that is us. And it's not. It's not the truth. You're a bad boy. You're a silly boy. You're a dirty, nasty boy. You that nigger. You that white trash. You that spick. You chink. You dumb Indian. All lies. Therefore, we must go deeper, my beloved brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, we must go deeper and look at what's here, what's under all of that stuff. Take a look. Don't stop there. Keep looking deeper. And you will find you don't want to get hung up in the past. You will find that under all of that stuff, and you have to be deliberate, you have to be purposeful, you must desire to see your true self. And then you become liberated, you become free of the lies of the ego. The ego begins to drop away, drop away, drop away. And you begin to see under all the stuff that you are, in truth, a perfect, unique expression of God or the Holy Spirit. That's who you really are in human form. And you become liberated and free. You recognize now that you are in truth a decent brother and a decent sister. A perfect love, kindness. You have the God-given power to choose, to select, to forgive, to encourage others, to go forward and accomplish your dreams of goal and goals of good. You let go of the rough mistakes you have made, and miracles can no longer be held from you. Miracles are expressions of love. So give a miracle to yourself and forgive yourself. Step number 2. Forgive yourself and forgive others. There is no more self-hatred, my beloved brothers and sisters, because you are a miracle, and miracles forgive. The ego damns is really an illusion. It's not even real. So you want to come back into what Brother Minister Farrakhan called at the Million Man March, a march of atonement. You want to come back and atone. Look at the word, atonement. At one mint. You want to come back and recognize your one-ment with the Father, with your source. I dare you say this. I am one with my source. I am one with my source. I am, touch yourself, one with God. Good love. You see, that's the truth of you. That's your true identity. And when you live your life according to your truth, then you become valuable to the world, to your family, to your staff at work, to your community. So that is how we develop a hatred for ourselves, by believing in the lies, the negative ideas and labels that people may have called us or we have believed about ourselves, that the ego makes sure you hold on to that so you don't be free. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any comment or question, call in 212-245-7273. This is deep. A lot of people say, oh, I love myself. I brush my teeth every day. Yet, in the South Bronx, 70% of the kids who live at home live in a one-parent home. Over 50% of the prisons are filled up with black people, men and women. Chicago got the highest murder rate in the nation. Chicago alone. And you telling me you love yourself? Look at what the white supremacists tried to do the other day. Self-hatred. Their fear of what Dr. Kressling said, of white supremacists' genetic annihilation. That's what their fear is. They come from us. We're not going to do anything to hurt them. That's not the nature in which God created us. You and me. All right, now I want you to... I think we got a call. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mind Science Freedom for You. What is your question? What is your comment?
I just want to know, have you ever fucked a fat white chick?
I didn't hear that. Oh. Well, that was a gross and a nasty I heard the F-U-C-K. I think he said, have I ever F-U-C-K a Catholic? I don't think so. I don't know. Although, when I was in public school, I was a Catholic. Well, I want to bring on our brother Ralph Smart to talk about how to heal ourselves emotionally and mentally. Life is an inside job. Success is an inside job. You got to begin to know that. The quality of your thinking determines your experience in life. If you think positive things and you nourish those positive ideas, then your experience will be positive. If you nourish ideas of negativity, of limitation, of hurt to others, you are going to experience negativity and hurt. Very simple. I want you to learn how to manage and master your emotions. Emotions change. For example, anger. If you get so angry with your wife because you had a bad situation at work, and subconsciously you punch her in the mouth because of something that happened at work. Your boss made you feel bad. You had no control of your anger. That changed into rage. And when your anger changes into rage, out comes the stick, out comes the gun, out comes the knife, out comes the hot grits. So I want you to learn and master yourself so you could be a light as we go into the newness of life with a heartfelt service in our world. Now, let's listen to our beloved brother Ralph Smart.
Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. We got the beautiful wind swaying back and forth. We're out here in nature, baby. We got the birds. How to heal yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Cali. Let's just woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. It is such a beautiful day, and I've got a question about healing yourself. Can we heal ourselves? Is it possible for a human being to actually heal themselves? Yes, I did it. So we have a whole lot to talk about. Winning and breakfast, yeah. Can I get a hello? Let me share with you 10 of the best ways that helped me to heal myself. When I was pretty down and out, I was able to bounce back, be revitalized, replenished, and actually get my life back on track. Now, a lot of us, we feel that healing ourselves is impossible. We can never heal ourselves. We must have someone else that can heal us. But I'm here to tell you, you have the power to heal yourself. No matter what anybody tells you, you have the power to heal yourself. So the first way to heal yourself is to realize this, that we have 7 highways in the face. 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. That means energy can enter from any one of those channels, those entries, right? So we've got to be very careful what we are listening to, what we are seeing, what we are inhaling, and what we are eating. In Ayurvedic medicine, which comes from the Indus Valley. It's over 3,000 years old. They spoke about, the great masters and sages spoke about how we're not just eating with our mouth, we're eating with what we are looking at. We are consuming through our ears, through our eyes, through our nostrils, and through our mouth. Slow motion this side. They spoke about how we are eating food from all of those places. So what helped me was to be mindful of what I was listening to via music. Okay, is this music really helping me? Is it aiding my health, or is it very destructive? What about what I'm seeing? If I see your face, then I'm gonna feel really happy, okay? If I see the cat down the road, definitely. But a lot of us, we are just watching stuff which doesn't serve us, not realizing we are actually consuming that. We are not opening what we eat. We are opening our senses. The second way that helped me heal emotionally and mentally was to realize this, that I'm not a victim. Like, life is gonna eat you up and then spit you back out. I feel like a victim right now, Ralph. I don't blame you. I did too, until I realized that the universe doesn't care if you feel like a victim.
Hey, what's up, my friend? Calic Knight here, and welcome to my
Okay, my beloved brothers and sisters,
I'm going to show you some things that I
that
think
was
you're gonna find pretty cool.
our
You see,
beloved
the question
brother
that I posed about
Ralph Smart,
Cala, how did you do it? Right? How did I go
and
from earning minimum wage, working in a coffee shop,
I
living
hope
in my
you
mom's
enjoyed
basement,
that.
and over $25,000 worth of debt, to creating a sick
We are going to continue. If you have any question or comment on what you heard
Feel like a victim.
from Ralph Smart, well, here we go. Let's finish with him.
Architects of our own reality. No matter what's happened to you, your story is not over. You have a great power to start rewriting your story and actually realizing that you have the power to lay your imprint on everything around you. You don't just have to be someone who feels like everything is being done to you and you are completely powerless. Because when you feel you are powerless, you start to develop a lot of dis-ease. You start to feel like, okay, now the whole world is against me, it's me against the world. And really and truly, once you start feeling that actually I can heal myself, no matter what I'm going through, maybe I have a lot of troublesome thoughts, because it all starts in the mind. It's psychosomatic.
I like him too sometimes.
Oh, you
Ayurvedic
did?
I just sit up and say,
medicine is
"What
all
you
about
doing?" Everybody
how
likes this
many
man.
sages of that time in India
Didn't
saw
like
how
that.
You have a
there's a
program?
subtle
Yes, sir.
You have a card?
balance.
My business card is
Very
on the
fine
mind
balance
laptop,
between
actually.
the body,
But,
mind, and spirit
show with,
that creates optimum health. Now, once you deviate from that balance, you develop what we call dis-ease. I said a long time ago,
To show you, I know this man also too.
Okay.
the disease
Thank you.
have is the inability to see that you have the power to heal yourself. Slow motion this side. Can you hear that bird up there? It is so happy. What's the third way to heal yourself? What helped me along my journey was to de-stress completely. I don't care what you're doing. Like, just stop it right now for 1 second and meditate and go somewhere where there's just trees around. That's what helped me heal. I said one day that I gotta get out of the concrete jungle. And then I just came into nature, and then day after day, I started to feel happier, depression went away, anxiety went away, and my life just got a whole lot better. You see, relaxation is what we are, stress is what we think we should be. Now, I recently came across mind-boggling science, which shows us that our DNA, our beautiful DNA, at the end of every single DNA strand, you have what we call a telomere. And this basically protects the DNA and preserves the DNA's information. Now, when a cell divides, a lot of the information is lost. So basically, the telomeres preserve that vital information that keeps you young, okay? Now, there is an enzyme called the telomerase. Now, when you have a lot of that, it means you're going to have a lot of telomeres which protect the DNA, which is going to help you age beautifully. In fact, you're not going to age at all. You're going to look super young. Like, how old are you again? Nobody knows. Can't guess your age, and that's fantastic. So they found a lot of university studies, even from Harvard, Stanford, they found that when you have increased levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, that enzyme, telomerase, can't be produced in high amounts, so the telomeres begin to shorten. In essence, you begin to lose them. So now that information is not passed on. That's why a lot of people are aging quickly. So stress shortens the telomeres. So to heal yourself, the secret is de-stress and feel better, look younger, and be happier. What is the fourth way to heal yourself emotionally and mentally? What helped me along my journey was to realize that you don't have to eat less, you just have to eat right. I'm not into fasting and starving yourself. I'm into intermittent fasting. That's one day of the week I don't eat so much. That's what I do. And fasting is a great way to heal yourself. It gives your body time to detox, to clean out the bloodstream. But we don't have to starve ourselves. We just have to eat the right nutrients. I learned a lot from the alkaline diet, which is where you really are eating more alkaline foods. We don't want to have a lot of acid in the body. We need that balance of alkaline and acid. When you've got that balance of alkaline and acid, that's beautiful. The problem is we don't eat a lot of alkaline foods, and you find a lot of alkaline foods in greens. Did you eat your vegetables growing up, or were you like, I don't want to eat that? Okay. We have to keep the body as alkaline as possible. It can be done even through water, alkaline water. I love to drink the pH 9, the pH 10, and I've seen a huge difference in how I feel. That is what will heal the body. Cancer cells thrive in an acid body. When you're eating a lot of processed junk food, refined foods, this is what cancer cells love. So I found out that to keep the body alkaline, you want to eat foods as close to their natural state as possible. Organic foods, basically. 7-day vegan challenge, let's go. What's the fifth way that helped me heal myself? It's what I call daily ecotherapy. Daily ecotherapy. Ecotherapy is therapy, which means when you get your butt into nature, you are going to heal yourself. Because there was a time on the planet where we were only living in nature. Before all of this concrete all around us, we practically lived in nature. And that's why people were so much healthier, because we didn't have all of this artificial all around us, these health waves and this radiation. We were in Gaia, and that is the best place to heal yourself. What's helped me is to take a walk in nature. A lot of people say they don't have time to go into nature, and I say, look, if you don't have time to go into nature, then you are going to have time for a lot of disease. You see, nature will remind you who you are. And what really helped me along my journey is to say that if you go into nature and you plant your feet on the ground, on the soil, you are earthing. And the beauty of earthing is that, you see, our body creates a lot of positive ions. Once again, this is acid. Earth's surface has a lot of negative ions. So guess what? When you are earthing, you are pretty much finding that beautiful homeostasis, that beautiful equilibrium. You are healing yourself without even knowing. So take your socks off and go naked and put your feet on the ground, and you will heal yourself. What is the sixth way that helped me heal myself along my journey? There is a science called epigenetics. Now, I came across this from the great Dr. Bruce Lipton. We've had him diving deep on the show on Infinite Waters. And epigenetics, let me just explain it in a very simple way. It's how our perception can literally alter our DNA. So how you see yourself has a lot to do with how you will heal yourself. If you keep saying you're no good, you're terrible, chances are it's going to be very hard to heal yourself. When you love yourself unconditionally, even your flaws, it's a lot easier to start healing yourself because you are now influencing and changing your DNA for the better. The seventh way that helped me heal myself was something called neuroplasticity, which is how our brain changes based on our experiences. So, check this out. If you are having a lot of stressful experiences in life in general, let's just say you don't like where you're working or you don't like someone, and you keep repeating that same experience through these daily routines, your brain is now changing and adapting to that same experience. Therefore, it's giving you more of it. And now, this is what your brain, it's all your brain knows. So you get caught up into a negative loop. So what helped me was to say, okay, if my brain is literally changing based on my experience, I want to create beautiful memories. Like, I want to go to the best beaches in the world, and that's what I started to do. And all of a sudden, I started to heal myself by creating new experiences, therefore getting a whole new brain. What is the eighth way to heal yourself mentally and emotionally? What really helped me along my journey was learning to surround myself with people who I actually could learn from. Better energy. When you surround yourself with people who are serving you as opposed to constantly putting you down, you will heal yourself, because we are an island. Energy is contagious. When you are around people who have your best interests at hand and you can vibe with them, all of a sudden you start absorbing their energy, they start absorbing your energy, but also you create a better feeling all around you. We become like the people we surround ourselves with most often. Okay? Ask yourself today, what kind of vibes am I inviting into my space? What makes me feel emotionally and mentally? What's just to say, look, right now I just want to invite people who are going to stuff a whole bunch of grapes in my mouth. And it worked out just great. What's the ninth way to heal yourself today? It's what I call allowing. When you start allowing, just that word allowing, that will help you heal yourself. A lot of us, we are in resistance to so many things in life. We're in resistance to change. We're in resistance to who we are. We're hiding from who we are. We're hiding from who we are. We're hiding.
We're hiding from who we are. That is our brother Ralph Smart. And if you listen closely, you can see how he talked about using our mind to make changes in our lives. What are we thinking? When we associate with people, what vibe are we bringing into our circle? What's the quality of thinking? What are their values? Do they empower me, or do they take my power from me? This is mind science. Freedom for you. And I know in the community we haven't had much about mind or psychology. But looking at psychology properly, you can get the truth out of it and make it work for you. It's enough, it's good to know that black people are the mother and father of civilization. That's true. We all know that. Scientists all over the world know that. We study that. We study writing. We study architecture. We study math, food preparation. But we need to also study ourselves. Because you see, we were formed, as Ralph Marx said, and I said earlier, by our environment. We are a far state away from our original oneness with God, with our Creator, which the Greek called us in ancient Africa, in ancient Kemet. They said, oh, they are God. That's a Greek word. But the great things that they saw was just our way of life. Irrigation, astronomy, math, building the pyramid, medicine. So we've been programmed outside, especially through the experience of the terrible experience of slavery. Outside of our greatness, our wonderment. And other peoples in the world also have been programmed and conditioned out of their greatness. And their greatness is no different from ours. Remember Jesus, when he said, when they asked him, how do we pray? And Jesus said, this is the way you pray. Our Father, who art in heaven. Jesus did not say, my Father, who art in heaven. He said, our Father. So by nature, all of us, you and me, come from our Father. And our Father is what people call God. I hope you enjoyed this program today. It might have been kind of heavy. But if you can find yourself to look at some of the other programs on YouTube and comment on them and be encouraged by them. And I want to know who of you are willing to help me save the world. Thank you for watching. My name is Harun Ibn Fatah Netta. That's my holy name. I was born into this world with the name of Gilbert James. And I'm the founder of the Institute for Creative Living. As you can see on your screen, if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to our email address, mindsciencefreedomforyou at gmail.com. mindsciencefreedomforyou at gmail.com. And you could leave your comment or question or how you think you can help. Our telephone number is 917-215-3156. 917-215-3156. Who of you are willing to help me save the world? Thank you so much for watching. And we'll close out now with a little music from Naji. The album is called Mind Over Matter. Mind Over Matter. And the particular track is Sweet Summer Night. Let it rock, Naji. Thank you very, very much for watching. Tune in next week when we'll have back Kavika Cohen, Vice President of the Institute for Means of Living, a beautiful and wonderful teacher of truth and of the Holy Spirit.